been farming in this Pemberton region for 35 years, and I farm also with my brother Dean and father Tony. We grow potatoes, starting from the start. We've grown potatoes for a long time. We ran beef cattle, and then just recently we've diversified into some other crops. Now, we just noticed with the potatoes that our quality was starting to deteriorate, and we noticed also that our soils were starting to deteriorate. Soil carbon had probably been stripped from the soil a fair bit, so we started to focus pretty strongly on trying to rebuild our soils. So we started composting, getting our pH right, which was quite important. It got out of balance a fair bit. Then as we started growing crops, we got introduced into other things, green manures, and we thought, well, what we need to do was keep species growing in the soil for as long as we possibly can keep them growing. So obviously summer gets pretty warm, so that was our challenge. We just tried to source as many species as we could that would last year round. So some would last in the winter time, springtime, autumn, some would grow through the summer. Trying to establish these species and get them going, it's not easy. And we started with, I think it was 16 different species, and I think we're down to six now, maybe 7. You've got something to host those microbes all year round. Your soil is pumping all year round as much as possible, and the advancement happens so much quicker than it would do if you only had growth for 8-9 months of the year, like we used to have. Brown manuring is another thing probably people haven't heard of. Before a crop of potatoes, we grow Sayer oats. Oats are a bit of a cleanser of the soil, and the Sayer oats just grow massively tall, and we see those in autumn. No cows go in there all winter or spring. When they dry off in the summertime, we put the cows in there and they smash them down, eat them, and it creates like a mulch on the floor, and the ground just softens right up. And what will happen now is when we get enough rain, the oats will self-sow, and all this trash will just break down a little bit, and then before the potatoes will come through, the green crop probably be up about this high, mulch it all in, and then we incorporate that into the soil. You know, the rewards are coming through with the cattle, they're coming through with potatoes. And the other thing we noticed as well is, before we started this journey, weeds were a huge problem for us. Since we've remedied our soils, we don't see much capeweed here at all. It's just significant. We don't spray it. We used to spray it all the time. We don't spray it anymore. We've hardly seen any at all. And the deadly nightshade, it's just a little bit on the periphery, and same with the fat hen and the Prince of Wales feather. The Prince of Wales feather hardly see any anymore. Fat hen is just not there as it used to be. Yeah, we were very heavy fertiliser users, 10 plus years ago. Now, the issue with the fertiliser usage was that we were probably over-catering. We were just putting a bit on just to make sure. It comes back from the early days when these soils were traditionally low in P, especially, and you saw a huge response. But as time got on and the P started to bank up in the soil a little bit, you didn't see a response. But we just probably carried that strategy on. We conducted trials with reducing the fertiliser inputs, and we found that we've been able to reduce them to quite significant levels, really. We just found that we had to use it a little bit differently, more frequently, but with the overall output of fertilisers is definitely less than it has been in the past. Microbes don't like excessive fertiliser usage, and trying to get all the things we're going now, we would never be able to do it if we continue with our extremely high fertiliser usage and rates. But it's exciting when you've got something to look forward to, something new, and like I said, even with the theory about the compost with the fertiliser in it, trying to retain some of the fertiliser without it being locked up. The use of biochar. We've got biochar, we don't really use in the potatoes, but the lemons and avocados and the kiwis, we put the biochar in there throughout. And those sort of things give you a little bit of excitement because you can see things are happening with it, but you can see that the potential down the track is just huge for these things going forward, and you need to have a bit of excitement. You know, if you do the same thing day in, day out, you know, things get pretty dull and boring.